Welcome to Fenway Park as we get ready for the middle game of the three-game series between the Chicago Cubs and the Boston Red Sox. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. We'll look at the Red Sox lineup and their outfield, and all of a sudden you got some youth running around out there.
Well, you certainly do, and that's because the Red Sox have been jumbling around trying to find a way to score runs, and they made some adjustments by putting guys who were infielders in the outfield. For example, Brock Holt, a second baseman, as his normal position, age 26, now playing the outfield for the Red Sox because he's swinging the bat well. Jackie Bradley Jr. has 9 assists, no question about his defense in the outfield. They're still waiting for that offense to come. He's only 24 years old. And at 21, Mookie Betts, who came up as a second baseman in the minor leagues, is also moved around between right field and center field for the Boston Red Sox. So it is a very young outfield for the Red Sox, and it's by design right now because they're just looking for somebody to get hot and help them score runs, and they hope that the young outfield can do that.
You know, tonight the Red Sox trying to bounce back after a difficult loss last night. And tonight, Clay Buchholz will be on the hill for the Red Sox. It'll be his second start since coming off the DL. Last time went 7 1/3 and a win in Seattle. It was his longest outing of the year. Looking for more of the same tonight. We're back with more after this. Series between the Cubs and the Red Sox. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Well, the Red Sox, a young outfield. We've talked about that, but perhaps the most established of the young outfielders is Brock Holt. Saw him a little bit last year, and so far this year, he has really established himself as an everyday player. Not only that, but here are his numbers among rookies. You take a look at the average at .315. That is first among rookies. A .362 on base percentage, second, and he can run a little bit. 5 stolen bases so far for what has become a legend. Brock Holt. With more, another legend, Gary Striewski.
You used legend loosely right there, Dio. It's going to be a pretty busy month of July for the Red Sox. 25 games this month, 26 if you're one of the lucky chosen few. I'm talking about that 26th game being the Midsummer Classic, July 15th, the All-Star Game. Of course, we're going to see the David Ortizes and the Dustin Pedroias playing, but what about Brock Holt? Yes, Brock Holt getting a little bit of all-star recognition, saying that he would like to play in the game. Not quite the household name outside of New England just yet, but the way he's playing, he's quickly becoming one, which could lead to him becoming an all-star, and that kind of goes without saying, would be very welcome, as he explains in our Geico quote of the day.
Not something that I'm paying much attention to. I'm just trying to go out, and play every day, play well, and try to enjoy it, and whatever happens, beyond that is kind of not up to me. But all I can do is kind of control, how I go about my business on the field, and try to help this team. And but like you said, man, huge honor just to kind of have your name kind of floating around there. I think it's kind of a long shot, but just for people to kind of recognize that, and it means a lot to me.
Now it's really a win-win situation either way for Brock Holt after grinding out 162 games. If he doesn't get the All-Star nod, he gets to kick his feet up and enjoy a couple days off. But he was saying, listen, that All-Star game in Minnesota, I hear Minnesota is fantastic in July. So hopefully he gets that All-Star nod. Another person worthy of some All-Star recognition, how about the Red Sox ball girl last night making some All-Star worthy highlight reel type plays? If you don't believe me, just watch. We'll be right back.
Sharply hit, nicely picked. This one is line foul again and picked again.
Wow, that's two very nice plays. That might have topped the first one.
Another try. Oh, this one gets by.
This ball sinks right at the end. Watch it go down and dip. See, that's got to be a base hit.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, your Nissan dealers of New England, Dunkin' Donuts, Toyota's website for deals via Toyota.com, by PaulRadine.com, celebrity golf instruction, and much more, your New England Subaru dealers, and by Deliver Us from Evil in theaters July 2nd. Welcome you back inside Fenway Park as the Red Sox and Chicago Cubs are ready for Game 2 of the series. Red Sox have taken the field, so check out the visiting Chicago Cubs starting 9. Chris Coghlan leading it off. He is in left field. Ryan Sweeney, the DH, bats second tonight with Anthony Rizzo at first base. Starlin Castro at shortstop in the cleanup spot. Luis Valbuena is at third base with Wellington Castillo doing the catching. He bats 6th with Nate Scherholtz in right field. Justin Ruggiano, the former Tampa Bay Ray, is in center field. He bats 8th. And Darwin Barney is at second base batting 9th. Tonight's Red Sox starting pitcher is presented by your New England Audi dealers. Experience the all-new 2015 Audi A3 today. Clay Buchholz on the mound. He's 3-4, about to make his 12th start of the year. A 6.75 earned run average coming in. 41 Ks to 24 walks, and opponents hitting at .331 against Buchholz. In his first start since coming off the disabled list, he was able to beat the Seattle Mariners. Only game the Red Sox won in that series, 7 1/3, giving up 4 runs as he grabbed the victory, his 3rd of the year.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 6th in the American League with 45 errors in 83 games. Xander Bogaerts will be at third base. Stephen Drew, the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second, and Mike Napoli, the first baseman. Left to right, Brock Holt, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Mookie Betts. And A.J. Brzezinski doing the catching for Clay Buchholz.
Umpiring crew tonight, Jordan Banker has the plate with Jerry Meals, the crew chief, at first base. Paul Emmel is at second base, and Chris Conroy is the umpire at third. Nice conditions here tonight. A little warmer tonight as we get game 2 started from Fenway Park. It is 84 degrees. Breeze out to center field at 16 miles per hour. Forecast partly cloudy for the remainder of the night. Right now, a lot of blue skies above Fenway, and the lights are on as Red Sox try to bounce back here in the second game of the series. And of course, it has been since 1908 for the Cubs. Red Sox fans reminding them of that. Rick Renteria is well aware of it, the manager of the Cubs. And last night we almost witnessed a no-hitter for the Cubs. Jake Arrieta, very impressive in last night's start for Chicago. Their pitching has been pretty good overall this season. They're trying to get the offense going, and the defense has not been bad. Cubs starting the night, 14.5 games back of the Brewers in the National League Central. As Chris Coghlan stands in here for Chicago to get it started. And on the grass at third is Bogaerts as Buchholz is ready. And the first pitch of the ball game misses outside for ball 1. Coghlan up over 200 at 204 with 2 homers and 4 runs batted in. He's played in 46 games now for Chicago since being called up from AAA Iowa. Well, fans, you can test your Red Sox IQ right now with the MLB Preplay mobile app. Download for free and start predicting every at-bat of every Red Sox game all season. Tonight, Preplay predicts Clay Buchholz will go 6 1/3 innings, allow 4 earned runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, and strike out 5 along the way.
Don, you talked about his last start, and the impressive thing about that, the fact that he didn't walk anybody against Seattle in 7 1/3 innings after being off for such a long time.
And the fact that he walked 8 in his last outing in Atlanta against the Braves, which was remarkable at the time, and then he ended up on the DL. There's Coghlan with a swing and a miss, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
First time, obviously, he's ever faced the Chicago Cubs. 3 hitters in the lineup tonight have faced him before, Coghlan being one of them.
Last time out, the cutter was a very good pitch for him as he misses down and in, and it's a full count. It was a pitch that worked out very well for Buchholz. Might have been his best pitch in Seattle. A 3-2 pitch. And it's fouled back. Full count still.
That was the cut fastball right there by Buchholz on the 3-2 count to Coghlan.
On deck, Ryan Sweeney, the former Red Sox outfielder. DH last night, DH again tonight. On the ground and through into right field, a base hit for Coghlan. Pretty good at bat. And aboard to begin things here in the top half of the first inning.
Yeah, gets the fastball at 94 miles an hour from Buchholz on the 3-2 count and pulls it between Napoli and Pedroia for the base hit. Little topspin ground ball and quickly gets in the right field. So the leadoff man on for the Chicago Cubs. Coghlan has 2 steals on the season, has not been caught.
Well, now Ryan Sweeney, the DH, Hitting at just .206 on the year. No homers, 8 runs batted in. Cubs as a team hit at .231, while the Padres have a lower batting average as a team. Whoops, Coghlan was guessing and is able to get back to the bag. He was taken off, and Buchholz was about to step off and look in his direction.
He had about 3 or 4 steps to second base before Buchholz realized it and stepped off, and Bucky turning towards second base and did not have a play on him at first.
Coghlan gaining the lead again as Sweeney waits for a first pitch. Let's take strike one. Buchholz wants a new baseball, gets one from Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire. Ryan Sweeney 1 for 3 here in the ball game last night. Was activated off the DL on June 13th. Had a hamstring strain that he suffered in early May. Snapped out at first and back to the bag at first is Coghlan. A.J. Pierzynski firing down.
I see that a lot. Catchers trying to throw behind that left-handed hitter. And that time not that big of a secondary lead over at first base for Coghlan.
Down and in for ball 2, 2-1. Now Sweeney a year ago, 295 with 4 home runs, and the stage of this year mentioned he did spend the better part of a month on the DL, but still just 206 without a home run, and really not known for his power despite his size. Buchholz really slowing it down here. The runner at first will throw over again.
Hey, look at the top 2 guys in this lineup for the Chicago Cubs. The leadoff hitter hitting 204 coming into the game, and Sweeney at 206.
Got the number 9 man, Darwin Barney, batting at 194. Nate Scherholtz, who had the home run last night, at 205. There are some low averages on this Cubs team. There's a ground ball left side. Stephen Drew will go to second for 1. On to first. It's a double play. Nicely done. Looked at first with the way Drew had to go towards the third base side. They may not be able to turn it, but they do. 6-4 to 3, 2 down.
Yeah, very nice double play turn by the Red Sox. First, Drew going to his right. As you see him, Pedroia almost running across the bag. Remember, it's a left-handed hitter up, so he's got a little farther to go to get to that bag, and he's able to make the pivot, run across the bag right there, and make the throw to first base to get the out. No contact to Pedroia at second base.
And for Coghlan, he was trying to figure out which way to try to get Dustin Pedroia, because Pedroia, as you mentioned, was running across the bag. Tough to get a moving target like that as quickly as he was coming across. So 2 down. Anthony Rizzo will take a breaking ball for strike 1. That's a pitch that Buchholz really struggled with last time out, was the curveball. Pretty good one there for strike 1. Rizzo at 278, 17 homers, 44 runs batted in, and of course, Red Sox farmhand until he was traded away to the Padres in the Adrian Gonzalez deal. Look at his numbers in the last 29 games. Pretty good. Last time out for Buchholz, the changeup was really a problem. Everything was up as far as the changeup went.
Well, you mentioned both now, the curveball and the changeup. I did not see the Buchholz game last time out, but you can imagine after being off for so long that those pitches would give him a problem. Finesse pitches, the curveball, the changeup.
Falls behind 3-1. Starlin Castro waiting on deck as the Cubs bat here in the top half of the first inning. In the dirt, and that is ball 4. Down to first base goes Rizzo. Not sure if this ball hit him or not, or if it was ball 4, as Jordan Baker indicated that it may have hit him.
Yeah, I think it did, the way the umpire made the motion to it first base. Let's take a look. It's the cut fastball down, and yes, it does get him off the left foot. And down to first base goes Anthony Rizzo.
So hit batter with 2 down here in the first inning. Gives Starlin Castro a chance. Castro at 283 coming in, 11 homers and 47 runs batted in. Leads the team with those 47 RBIs. Already surpassed what he put together last year at 44 RBIs all of last year. Has now started all 82 games the Cubs have played in this year at shortstop. And a swing and a miss. High fastball at 93.
We've seen a couple of fastballs from Buchholz, 93, 94 miles an hour. That's something early in the season. We didn't see that kind of velocity.
On the corner for strike 2. Apparently on the corner, getting the benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah, Buchholz trying that 2-seam fastball, gets the benefit of the doubt on this call right here as Pazinski pulls it into the corner, and Castro can't believe it.
Now 2 down, a runner at first. 20th pitch of the inning coming up here for Buchholz. And a slap foul off to the right. Protecting the plate is Starlin Castro. Well, 350 with men on base. 7 home runs for Castro. And he bats here with Anthony Rizzo at first base. 2 down here in the first inning. Moved to the cleanup spot at the end of April. April the 25th has been there ever since for the Cubs. And a swing and a miss. Strikes out Castro. Changed up. It was high. It's the first strikeout for Buchholz. Sox coming up in the bottom of the first inning, and the Red Sox lineup is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Brock Holt leading it off in left field. Dustin Pedroia at second base. David Ortiz at DH bats third. With Mike Napoli at first base in the cleanup spot. A.J. Pierzynski doing the catching. With Xander Bogaerts at third base. Stephen Drew is at shortstop batting seventh. Mookie Betts back in the outfield and in right field tonight. With Jackie Bradley Jr., who was off last night, back in center field batting ninth. Tonight's Cubs starting pitcher is brought to you by Nissan. Edwin Jackson is on the mound. 17th start of the year, 5-8 with a 5.22 earned run average, 85 strikeouts at 39 walks, and opponents hitting at 281 against him in his career against the Red Sox in 13 total games and 10 starts, 2-4 individually with a 5.49 earned run average. Of course, the Red Sox first saw him in a Tampa Bay Rays uniform. Brock Holt stands in and will take ball one. Holt at .315, 2 homers and 17 runs batted in. He's now batted leadoff in each of the club's last 38 games. So he's really settled into that leadoff spot, still toting a pretty good average at .315. And a .362 on base percentage. Was 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. Takes a breaking ball outside, 2-1.
Now Jackson's a guy that's been around a long time and with a lot of different ball clubs. The Dodgers, the Rays, the Tigers, the Diamondbacks, White Sox, Cardinals, Nationals, and signed a 4-year contract with the Cubs.
Glad to have a home for a little while in one place.
Yeah, last time he faced the Red Sox, that was back in 2010. As a member of the White Sox.
Look at his career totals. 251 games started, 83 wins to 97 losses. He is 30 years of age. He's actually born in West Germany but resides in Atlanta. Ground ball right side and picked nicely by Barney, who'll spin and throw in time to get Brock Holt at first base.
Let's look at the Cubs defense. They are 6th in the National League with 48 errors on the season. Luis Valbuena will be at third base. Starlin Castro, the shortstop. Darwin Barney at second. And Anthony Rizzo, the first baseman. Left to right, Chris Coghlan. Justin Ruggiano at center field. And Nate Schuerholz, the right fielder. Wellington Castillo doing the catching.
One down here in the bottom of the first inning for Dustin Pedroia. .272 average for Pedroia coming in. 4 homers and 30 runs batted in. Pedroia 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. Red Sox had a lot of 0-fers, as they were almost no hit in last night's game before Stephen Drew broke it up and A.J. Pierzynski would add a hit a little bit later. Jake Arrieta, very impressive, and not the guy that we saw with the Baltimore Orioles. This ground ball to short. Castro fields and throws. 2 down here in the first inning. Numbers last night for Arrieta. Ended up being charged with 1 of the 2 hits allowed by the Cubs in last night's game. Hit he allowed was Stephen Drew, and then he came out of the game.
Yeah, and a real classy act, too, by Fenway fans here last night, giving him a standing ovation as he left the ball game for his work against the Red Sox last night.
Now 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning for David Ortiz. Starting the night hitting at .250, 19 homers, 52 runs batted in. He was 0 for 3 last night. He's not on base, and as a result snapped an 18-game on base streak when it started on June the 10th. It'll bounce in, and it's 2-0. Has hit safely in 11 of his last 15 starts, dating back to June the 14th. Showing bunt 2-0, at least showing anyway, and he takes a strike. As we take a look at our Chevy key player, David Ortiz hitting at .450, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 8 runs batted in lifetime against tonight's Cubs starter Edwin Jackson. Fly ball to left field. Chris Coghlan coming in. He'd started back, but has time to recover and makes the catch. A 1-2-3 first for Edwin Jackson. No score from Fenway after 1. Kids Month this July here at Fenway Park, and the Cedar Grove baseball team was here from Dorchester, Massachusetts, out there for the national anthem and meeting some of their heroes here at Fenway Park. They play into the second inning at Fenway without a score. Luis Valbuena, Wellington Castillo, and Nate Sherholtz coming up. As Clay Buchholz got a double play and a strikeout. Gave up a hit a batter, all part of a 21-pitch first inning. Luis Valbuena leading it off here for the Cubs. 268, 5 homers, and 20 runs batted in for the Cubs third baseman. Amazingly, in that game that Buchholz pitched in Atlanta just prior to going on the DL, giving up 8 walks in 3 innings. Red Sox went on to overcome that 5-run deficit and won 8-6. So Buchholz ended up with a no decision in that outing before going on the DL. He was charged with all 6 runs in 3 innings. A couple of rehab starts with Pawtucket. A win last time out against Seattle. Facing the Cubs for the first time in his career. And a swing and a miss for strike 2.
A changeup that time by Buchholz. Threw a changeup last inning to strike out Castro. That one was high. This one a little bit further down, about thigh high. Would like to get even lower than that with the changeup.
On the ground towards shortstop, and Stephen Drew. And plenty of time to get Valbuena for the first out of the inning. Well, Friday, check out an all-new Charlie Moore Outdoors. Charlie travels to Hawaii in search of freshwater fishing, and the crew is invited into a local family's home for a good old-fashioned Hawaiian cookout. Plus, Charlie visits a not-so-traditional luau. Sounds like you won't want to miss this episode Friday at 6 p.m. One down in the second inning. Wellington Castillo, catcher, 240, 5 homers and 24 runs batted in. Buchholz has not lost in interleague play. He's 4-0, 7 career starts in interleague play. As he grabs a strike on the outside corner. His wins this year at Toronto, home against Oakland, and at Seattle. Curveball in there for strike 2. That has been much better. 0-2.
And Buchholz shaking off about 3 different signs. He wanted to throw the curveball, and he puts it in a nasty spot, down and away from Castillo. It's like the cut fastball.
Chop foul, do it again, 1-2. Enjoy the rich taste of Farmhouse Blend coffee from Cumberland Farms. It's made from 100% Arabica coffee for the perfect balance of aroma, body, and taste. Stop in today for a cup of do-it-yourself coffee perfection for only 99 cents, any size. One out here in the top half of the second inning. Count of 1-2 to Wellington Castillo. And it's fouled back to the right. On deck for the Cubs, Nate Scherholtz. Last night able to take Jake Peavy deep, a 2-run home run, and all the runs the Cubs would need. Scherholtz picked up his 4th home run of the year. And Peavy dealt the loss, dropped to 1-7 on the season with that loss. Look at his numbers. Pitched well. Quality start for Peavy, but didn't get any run support per usual. This is down to third. Bogaerts with a step or 2 and throws across for out number 2. Want to see your Red Sox in the 2014 All-Star Game and get a specially priced ticket to a July Red Sox home game? Then go to redsox.com/vote anytime between now and July 3rd. Vote Red Sox and receive the opportunity to purchase a specially priced $20 ticket. 2 down here in the second inning for Nate Scherholtz.
A lot of Chicago fans here at Fenway Park for this series. Quite vocal at the game last night, and after the game, a lot of them on the street. You can see walking back to their hotels at various spots.
You have to imagine that much like a lot of the Red Sox fans going to Wrigley Field, a lot of the Cubs fans circle this on the schedule to get here to Fenway.
Right, it's their destination. There's no question about that, especially for the National League teams that don't come in here very often.
No one to Scherholtz. And a fly ball to deep right field, sending Mookie Betts back onto the warning track at the wall to make the catch. Mookie Betts back there to make the grab on Nate Scherholtz. We'll check out the Scion poll. We come back to Fenway. We'll talk mascots.
With tonight's poll question, which is the best Chicago mascot? Sox 1 for the Bears, Sox 2 the Blackhawks, Sox 3 the Bulls, Sox 4 the Cubs. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates, those may apply. Text help if you need it. Visit NESN.com/terms for all that fun legal stuff. Guys, I'm going with the Bulls on this one.
You know, I'm not sure I've seen the Bulls mascot.
No, I haven't seen the Bulls, the Blackhawks, or the Bears.
But we have seen the Cubs because he is here.
Yes.
He has traveled to Fenway Park along with the team.
Just a little tip, he'll be part of the Wally Wave tonight.
Ooh. Did you already see the Wally Wave when I wasn't paying attention? There he is.
Yes, I keep my eye up always up on that left field wall.
Does he have the name on the back of his jersey as to what he goes by? Do we know? Is he just Cubby? I mean, what is he?
I don't know.
Mike Napoli leading it off here in the bottom of the second inning. He's Clark. That's his name, Jerry.
Clark?
Clark.
Clark the Cub?
Clark the Cub. The 1-1 pitch. What are they decided on Clark? Why not like Chuck or Randy or something? I mean,
well, yeah. Weird.
Clark. He's Clark the Cub. 2-1 to Napoli. Is in the dirt. Napoli, Brzezinski, and Bogaerts to bat in the second inning. Napoli at 276 coming in, 10 homers and 31 runs batted in.
There's got to be some special meaning in Chicago, don't you think, about Clark? Because
have to be.
If you think about people, I mean, a lot of thought goes into these decisions on how to name a mascot.
Like Wally, the Wall.
Exactly, and you sit around a big, conference room, and there's all kind of executive in there, and how they come up with Clark, I don't know.
A lot of marketing people in there. Think about Paws for the Paw Sox.
Yeah,
Paws.
I don't know. There's got to be some special meaning for Clark.
He's Clark.
We've got to dig into that.
There's got to be a reason.
Yeah.
A marketing reason of some sort. Maybe we will find out in pop-up facts a little bit later. There's a fly ball off the bat of A.J. Brzezinski. Coghlan going back, and it's going to be off the wall. Napoli is headed for third base. He'll be stopped there. Throw to second, and Brzezinski is very out. A.J. looked up and was thrown out at second base by at least 5 feet for the first out of the inning.
Well, Mike Napoli made a good read on this. He knew the ball was going to be off the wall. Brzezinski did not make a good read on it. One bounce back to the outfield Coghlan. He makes the throw in at second base, and Brzezinski not even close. I mean, that's full out. That's full out right there for Brzezinski.
So one down here in the second inning. Napoli did get to third base. 90 feet away. They bring the infield in. Not all the way in, but they are in. And Xander Bogaerts the batter. There's strike one.
The reason you see the infield in this early in the ball game, we've highlighted the fact that it's been difficult for the Cubs to score runs, and they don't want to give one up here right early in the ball game, even though it's still early the second inning. With one out, they're bringing it. If nobody was out, they'd probably have it back right now. But with one out, less chance of a big inning, so they bring that infield in.
Napoli gains his lead. One down here in the second inning. Bogaerts waiting on a 1-1 pitch. That is outside and low, and it's 2-1. Yankees and Tampa Bay Rays playing again tonight, as Tampa Bay able to beat New York last night in New York in extra innings. They're scoreless through 2 innings at Yankee Stadium tonight. Baltimore hosting Texas. Foul tip, and that is held on to. There are the standings in the American League East heading into tonight's game. Toronto holding on to a 1-game lead at the moment. And the Blue Jays winning against Milwaukee 4-1. Swing and a miss, and Bogart strikes out. First K for Edwin Jackson, a big one with the runner at third, 2 down.
Yeah, basically staying with the slider too against Bogarts, keeping it down and away, and that's a pitch that he has really been chasing quite a bit.
Bogart's 0 for his last 24 with runners in scoring position. 2 down here in the second inning. Mike Napoli at third, and here's Stephen Drew. He broke up the no-hit bid here last night. He had 143 since his return to Boston. No homers. 2 runs batted in. Singled in the bottom of the 8th last night. Now has hit safely in 3 of his last 4 games. That follows a stretch in which he had gone 0 for 29. In there for a strike, 1-1. Jake Arrieta with the no-hitter until this happened. Stephen Drew able to break it up, and this will be the last batter Arrieta would face in the game. A solid single to right field, and the appreciation of not only the Cubs fans but the Red Sox fans as he departed last night. Swinging a foul ball, 1-2. Third longest active streak in the majors without being no hit. Cubs in the Athletics ahead of the Red Sox in that category. Outside, 2-2.
Got to go backdoor with that slider. So far, we've seen the fastball, the curveball, the slider, and a changeup from Jackson.
Drew fouls it off down the left field line, out of play. Let's check in with Gary. He has information, Jerry. Gary?
Guys, I've been doing some digging behind what the reasoning is behind Clark's name, and it's actually the intersection that Wrigley Field sits on. Clark and Addison there in Chicago, and I believe Clark is a little bit better of a name than Addison. Or another option, the left field street there, Wrigley Field, is Waveland. So I think Clark is the best option there.
So now we know. Clark.
It really could have went either way, really.
Yeah,
I wonder how Clark went out over Waverly. Waverly's a pretty popular street.
Yes.
In Chicago around the ballpark. Addison, we've been there a couple of times.
Yes,
we know where Waverly is.
Very difficult to get a cab on all of those streets.
Oh, just about impossible. A lot of activity around Wrigley Field. Great atmosphere.
In the few games that we have done there, we have run into some cab difficulties.
We started walking there one day after a game, and we had no idea where we were.
No.
And a camera guy ended up being as one of the cameramen in Chicago.
Payoff pitch to Drew, and that's outside, ball 4. It works a walk here. Second walk of the inning, second walk of the outing allowed by Edwin Jackson. Well, tomorrow on NESN Live, presented by Cross Insurance, Sarah Davis and Elle Duncan will bring you live coverage from Fenway Park, the latest on the NHL and NBA free agency, and a live report from Celtics practice. That's tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. First and third, 2 down here in the Boston second inning, and here's Mookie Betts. 1 for 6 so far in his young major league career. No homers, no RBIs. And his first hit out of the way on Sunday night at Yankee Stadium in New York. Runner starts to go at first. Now the throw to first, and Drew's going to be out at first base. He started, stopped. Castillo noticed and guns him down at first, picking him off to end the second inning. Scoreless through 2. And it's not only Wally this time, Jerry. You're right. It's Clark.
Yeah.
And Clark's got it going on.
He picked it up pretty quickly, didn't he?
Yes, he did. First timer, but he's getting it done. People are really into it tonight. Top of the third inning. Justin Ruggiano getting it off here for the Cubs. Former Tampa Bay Ray kind of bounced onto the scene, though, really, with the Miami Marlins. 240 this year, 2 homers, 10 runs batted in.
Well, plenty of responses on Twitter about Clark, I can tell you that.
They lighten us up, Jerry?
They're informing us about Clark Avenue at Wrigley Field.
Are we morons again?
Not total.
No.
Not total.
2-0 pitch to Ruggiano, and it's in there for strike 2 and 1. I honestly did not know that. I'm being quite honest. As you check your Twitter account.
No, I did not. I did not know that. And there's a lot of Clark Griswolds in here, but it was not Clark Griswold. Also, see, you lit me up on Twitter.
This is a fly ball to shallow right. Out goes Pedroia. That's coming in, and he'll make the catch. Does Mookie in right field for the first out of the third inning. You know, for years you've been ripping me on my suits and my color combinations, and
what?
The suits are my powder blue suit, my yellow suit.
No, only a couple of sport coats I have ripped you on.
And some are bad. But I will always say this, I have always matched, whether it was disgusting, gross, or over the top, I always matched. And for the first time in the 14 years we've worked together, tonight, you do not match. And you said to me as I walked in, what do you think of these shoes today? And I was honest with you. I said right away, Jerry, those shoes do not match the outfit that you have on, and probably should be worn without socks. Drew on the run, throws to first. You are wearing a dark brown suit with dark brown socks and these shoes.
Yeah, Tommy Bahamas. Yeah.
They look comfortable.
Now,
they look great, but they do not match. Here are the socks.
I totally agree. I should not wear socks with these. I do agree. But the fact is that you know, Mary Wallagunda of the
Yes.
Flying Wallagundas think they look okay.
Right.
So, I mean,
Well, I'm just telling you what I think. I just gave you my opinion.
I'm going for comfort.
Well, that's it. I understand that. If that's what you're going for, then that's great.
But they're a shade
they
of
don't
brown.
match.
They're a shade of light brown.
Right, but they're light. I mean, I get that we're after Memorial Day and all, but I mean, it is not matching.
Well, you lit me
And
up.
it's
As soon as you
I
saw 'em.
did not light you up. I asked what people thought. Who's the center and back is Bradley Jr. What do you think out there about this combination? On July 1st, 1916, at age 42 years and 4 months, Honus Wagner is the oldest player to hit an inside the park home run. He connects for the Pirates in the 4th inning at Cincinnati. That's on to the bottom of the 3rd inning at Fenway Park. Mookie Betts was batting when Stephen Drew was picked off at first base. It's to short, and Castro quickly gets rid of Mookie Betts for the first out of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, some very bizarre base running last inning by the Red Sox. Pazinski getting tagged out at second, and then Drew getting picked off at first base. And that left Betts standing at home plate, and the Red Sox could not score in the bottom of the 2nd.
Never a bad time to have a banana. Stephen Drew enjoying one right now with 1 out here in the 3rd inning. Jackie Bradley Jr. .207 average coming in with a home run, 24 runs batted in. To left field in the air, the shortstop Castro on the run's not going to get there, but it lands foul and jumps up into the seats.
See, since the last time I saw Jackie Bradley Jr., he has opened his stance up a little bit at home plate. I would imagine the reason for that is to try to get to that inside fastball a little bit quicker. Something he started on the road trip.
Actually, the way he used to be in his eyes was a little bit open like that, changed it, and then decided, as you mentioned, on the road trip to go back to it again, where he enjoyed success starting open and then coming closed as the pitch comes in. Pitch in the dirt, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Outfield set up straight away here on Jackie Bradley Jr. Red Sox with one hit in the ball game. A.J. Brzezinski's single. It tried to stretch it into a double. Was gunned down at second. Chopped to short, and Castro has been busy in this game. Has assists on the first 2 outs of this third inning. These aerial views of Boston and Fenway Park are brought to you by Hood, the official dairy of the Boston Red Sox. To follow the Hood blimp and enter to win prizes this summer, visit the Hood Facebook page or follow @HoodBlimp on Twitter.
Well, those are the kind of pitches you just kind of dream about, in January. You get the beautiful weather here at the ballpark tonight. Full house here at Fenway Park.
Finally summer in Boston, no doubt about it. Temperatures the last 2 days well into the 80s. 2 down in the inning for Brock Holt, who takes strike one. Holt grounded out to Darwin Barney at second base in the first inning. To right field. Sherholtz coming in and dives forward to make the catch that ends the inning. A 1-2-3 third for Edwin Jackson. Some help from his friends. We'll get you a new view when we come back to Fenway. Technologies that make your life easier to people who care about your community. Eastern Bank is committed to putting you first. Learn all the ways Eastern puts you first at easternbank.com. We head to the top half of the fourth inning. Ryan Sweeney leading it off for Chicago against Clay Buchholz. Sweeney bounced into a 6-4-3 double play in the first inning. Sweeney, Anthony Rizzo, and Starlin Castro to bat in the inning. Inside for ball 3-0. Buchholz has not walked anybody so far through the first 3 innings. Has hit a batter and has 1 strikeout so far. Juan Nieves, his pitching coach, looking on. There's a strike. 3-1. Third 3-ball count of the night for Buchholz. Last time out, struck out 2, did not walk anybody in his 7 1/3 effort. Fouled off to the right, out of play, full count. Thursday night on NESN, see how your future and current Red Sox players are doing down at the Pawtucket Red Sox. Beginning at 6, catch the Rochester Red Wings visiting the Paw Sox. It's live on Thursday night, and it's on NESN. Swing and a miss for Sweeney. Second strikeout for Buchholz.
Buchholz going to the cut fastball will pick up the strikeout. First one was on a changeup to Castro. This time the cut fastball.
Since Buchholz hit Rizzo in the first inning, he's now retired 8 in a row. 2 strikeouts along the way, and Rizzo waiting on a 1-0 pitch.
Buchholz struggled a little bit early in his last outing, but very sharp here in the early part of this ball game tonight.
High fastball, and Rizzo chases that. 1-2. Buchholz been operating at 93, 94 miles an hour tonight. Velocity has not been a problem for Clay so far in the game. Well, tune in to Red Sox Friday Night Fenway, presented by Budweiser, Friday at noon. Be sure to visit Who's on First, every Red Sox game in July. Fans 21 and over can participate. Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. '50th pitch for Clay Buchholz, and that'll skip away. Two to Anthony Rizzo. Bouncing in, and Buchholz coming up lame there. It looked like kind of bounced around at the end of that delivery.
A little stumble on the mound that time by Buchholz as he tried to throw that cut fastball to Rizzo.
Third full count for Clay Buchholz. Still without a walk on the night. Being careful in dealing with Anthony Rizzo. Chop foul, and it hangs at 3-2. Payoff pitch. And Rizzo back behind Buchholz, but a bouncing ball to Drew. He was perfectly set up there in behind second base. Throws out Anthony Rizzo, and there are 2 outs here in the 4th inning. My view tonight, Jerry, is a view that John Farrell has on a nightly basis before the game and after the game. This is the press conference room at Fenway Park where John conducts his interviews every day. So it's really John Farrell's view, not my view, but I sat in John's seat to get it done today.
Yeah, that was about approximately 5 minutes before all the media gets in there, and that's a full house every day for John Farrell.
That was about 3:55, about 5 minutes when John's daily press conference at 4 o'clock here at Fenway. Two down in the fourth inning. Starlin Castro will take ball one outside. This is the other view. This is me taking the view. This is what it looks like when I am in the middle of taking the view.
Yeah, that's the shot you see Farrellin all the time. You know, that's a NESN feed that goes right into the press conference right there. And
did you notice the first guy in the shot of John Farrell's view? I don't know if you noticed that or not. It was a strange gentleman sitting off to the left.
I'm not going to argue with you. They don't go with the suit.
There's a gentleman wearing a dark brown suit and wearing white shoes. That's the guy over there. That does not match. Off the end of the bat, foul. 1-1. I mean, when you got dressed today and you were at home and you said, you know, this looks pretty good.
No,
I'm gonna wear this.
No, you got it all wrong. You got it all wrong. First of all,
this is how it's going to be. Moving forward, we're going to be wearing different color stuff. It doesn't match.
you totally wrong.
1-1 is up high.
First of all, if my wife was home, that would have never happened.
No.
She never would have let me leave the house like that.
No.
But I had these new pair of shoes that I wanted to put on, and I figured they're light brown. And I said, you know, what the heck? I mean, nobody can see my shoes on TV.
You bring up a good point, and you are comfortable.
And I'm very comfortable, so.
It's just other people see you walking around here for like 5 hours before the game. Outside, 3-1.
Yeah.
Center fielder Jackie Bradley Jr. over towards right center field. Gap out there in left center. 3-1 to Starlin Castro. And a one hopper picked by Pedroia from the outfield grass. His throw in time. The Red Sox showing off some pretty good defense, and Buchholz getting through 3.5. It is scoreless from Fenway. Keeps our economy and community strong. That's why they've been named the #1 SBA lender in Massachusetts 5 years in a row. Eastern Bank, here, your first. Now it's on to the bottom of the fourth inning at Fenway Park. Red Sox and Cubs in game 2 of this 3-game series. Both teams with 1 hit. And it is 2, 3, and 4 for the Red Sox featured in the inning. Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz, and Mike Napoli to face Edwin Jackson. As Pedroia takes ball 1. Dustin grounded out to the shortstop Starlin Castro in the first inning. There's a strike, 1-1. Edwin Jackson coming in with a record of 5-8, 5.22 earned run average. Gonna yank that one outside, 2-1.
Remember Jackson when he was with Tampa Bay, and we thought he was going to be a guy that was going to be there for a long time and be a very successful pitcher. He's been with so many teams, and finally finding a home with the Cubs.
This one is high, chopped to third. Buena has no chance. Tried to pick it on the backhand, and because it was in the air so long, it is a base hit for Dustin Pedroia. No chance for Valbuena.
Now, I think the best chance he had is to let it go because it might have gone foul. Watch this last spin. See how it kicks to the right? I mean, there's a chance it could have gone foul. But Valbuena makes contact with it, and Dustin Pedroia has a base hit.
Lead runner on for the Red Sox, second time in 4 innings. They left Napoli at third base after he walked to be in the second inning. Now David Ortiz. David flying out to left field in the first inning, 0 for 1. Cubs into the shift on the right side. They bring Valbuena, the third baseman, to the right side of the infield. Over and back to the bag is Pedroia. It's 2 out of 7 is Pedroia on the year. For some reason, I remember trades for no apparent reason. I remember them in my head. I don't know why. Edwin Jackson was traded to the Detroit Tigers from the Tampa Bay Rays. You know who for?
No, I don't.
Matt Joyce.
For Matt Joyce. And Matt Joyce turned out to be an all-star for the...
He's been a good player for the Rays.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Primarily hitting third this year for Tampa Bay. Ortiz fouls it back and is down 0-2. Are you a Red Sox fan looking for creative ways to fundraise for your nonprofit organization? Contact our group sales department to learn about this summer's fundraising packages. Go to redsox.com/groups for more details. Lead runner on for the Red Sox here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pedroia with an infield hit, and now David Ortiz down 0-2. That'll bounce in, blocked by Castillo. No advance for Pedroia at first base.
Nice block by Castillo, the catcher there, expecting the breaking ball, expecting to be down, goes down to the knees, blocks it, and keeps Pedroia at first base. That ball directly thrown down in the dirt by Jackson.
Now down in front of the plate, it is Jackson, the pitcher, who fields and throws to first base to get Ortiz as Pedroia takes second base. 1 out here in the 4th inning. And David frustrated, right back towards the mound.
He got himself a fastball that time that was down and just hits right in front of that soft dirt in front of home plate, barehanded by Jackson to throw him out at first base. Something you don't see Ortiz do very often at all is just bounce one right in that home plate area.
Well, runner at second, 1 down. Mike Napoli walked in the second inning, 1 of 2 walks given up by Edwin Jackson. They both came in the second inning. Napoli will take it a little bit high. Red Sox with 2 hits in the game. A.J. Brzezinski with a single. Got gunned down and a leg out a double at second base. And Pedroia, the leadoff infield hit here in the 4th inning. That has been it. While the Cubs have just 1 hit of their own. Leadoff single by Chris Coghlan to begin the game. That's been it. There's a strike, 1-1, right down the middle.
A good velocity, 95 with that last fastball from Jackson.
Pickoff play at second as Pedroia diving back, but no play. Napoli takes the strike. Thought about swinging, held off, but it's in there for a strike. A.J. Brzezinski waiting on deck. Runner at second, 1 down here in the Boston 4th inning. Fouled off to the right, out of play. Well, log on to NESN.com/Nexium 24-hour to register for the Nexium 24-hour Green Monster ticket giveaway. This is your chance for you and your family to win 4 tickets to the Green Monster seats, one of the most unique places to watch a game in all of sports, courtesy of Nexium 24-hour. One out, runner at second base. Napoli with the count of 1-2. In the dirt outside, blocked by Castillo, and it's 2-2. In the dirt, and it's a full count. Only 1 strikeout so far tonight for Edwin Jackson. He has struck out 8 or more in 5 of his last 10 starts, but just 1 tonight.
Yeah, strikeout high in the season's 11. He did that against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Chris Bosio, his pitching coach, looking on with 1 out and a runner at second. Bluff again off the backside, and again Pedroia back to the bag.
Well, maybe Jackson figuring the Red Sox have already made a couple of base running mistakes in this game. Maybe we can catch him with another one.
Swing and a miss, and Napoli strikes out. That's the second strikeout for Jackson, and the second out of the 4th inning.
Yeah, that came as a surprise to Napoli. That was a changeup, first changeup he saw in that at bat, and it was 2 strikes. Changeup at about 88 miles an hour inside.
Amica Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. Two down here in the fourth inning. A.J. Pierzynski, the batter. He single, tried to turn it into a double, but was gunned down, and they're going to put him on. At first base open, and Xander Bogaerts struggling, waiting on deck.
For Pierzynski, this will be the second time this season he has been intentionally walked.
So Pierzynski down to first base on the free pass. Now, the Red Sox salute H.B. Hood for their contributions to the Red Sox Foundation and one of their prime beneficiaries, the Jimmy Fund. No cause is more important to the Red Sox than fighting childhood cancer. We thank the good people at Hood for giving generously. Two down in the bottom of the fourth inning. Runners at first and second. And Xander Bogaerts coming up. Mentioned 0 for his last 24 with runners in scoring position. And another opportunity here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Pedroia at second, Pierzynski at first. Bogaerts takes strike one.
That's really putting pressure on yourself, too. When you have those kind of numbers, you're well aware of that, and you feel the pressure when you go to the plate. The pressure actually is on the pitcher. He's got the man in scoring position at second base, but when you haven't had success offensively, it wears on you.
A little bit low, and it's a ball and a strike.
And so far, it's been a steady diet of breaking balls to Bogaerts.
Xander striking out swinging in the second inning. One of two strikeouts for Edwin Jackson. In the dirt, and Castillo gathers that. Edwin Jackson pitching with 8 teams in parts of 11 major league seasons. They have found home here with the Cubs, at least for the next few years. 2-1 to Bogaerts. And it's hit sharply to center. Ruggiano going back. He'll leap and make the catch in center field. Justin Ruggiano with a nice grab out there at center on a well-struck ball by Bogaerts, but nothing to show for it. Scoreless at the end of 4.
Fifth inning, and guys, fantastic news for the Red Sox yesterday as hitting coach Greg Colburn finally rejoined the team. If you'll rewind the clock back to June 4th when the Red Sox were in Cleveland, Colburn was complaining about a little bit of fatigue when they got to the park, was admitted to an area hospital. Turns out he was suffering some brain hemorrhaging, bleeding of the brain, was actually kept in Cleveland at the hospital for about a week or so as the Red Sox carried on with business, but finally rejoined the team after 26 days, and guys, picking up right where he left off, shaking off a little bit of the cobwebs. But yesterday I saw him in the indoor batting cage. Today they took BP outside. He was there, a full participant. John Farrell saying it's just a matter of time before they get him back in full capacity. In the meantime, Tim Heyer's still up here to assist with the hitting coach duties, guys, but fantastic news all the way around.
Yeah, Gary, thank you very much, and indeed it is. And a very scary moment in Cleveland when it took place, and ended up being admitted to the Cleveland Clinic and spending a lot of time there, as it turned out afterwards, and glad to have him back again. As going around that time was Luis Valbuena, evening the count at 1-1.
Look from the side, and no question about that swing right there from Valbuena.
Grounded to short in the second inning, 0 for 1. Check swing grounder, foul. Clay Buchholz gave up a single to Chris Coghlan back in the first inning, and it's the only hit that the Cubs have. Did hit a batter, and Anthony Rizzo in the first. But he has now retired 10 batters in a row as he starts this fifth inning without a score tonight. Chop to second base, and Pedroia throws out Valbuena for the first out of the fifth inning. Watch Sox in 2 every game night at midnight, presented by Kiel Vodka. Stay balanced. Jerry, first look last inning, I thought that Xander Bogaerts going to get up over the head of Justin Ruggiano in center field last inning.
Yeah, he was playing very shallow out there in center, and the ball hit right on the button by Bogaerts. I mean, good, solid contact, and you know, you can't do much more than that. I mean, you hit the ball hard, it finds the glove. Ruggiano, very nice play. As I mentioned, he was playing shallow and had to go back quite a distance to make that play. But, you know, when you're going like Bogaerts is right now, they make plays like that on you. It just seems to happen all the time.
Wellington Castillo grounding out to third base in the second inning, 0 for 1. And he'll take strike one, 1-1. He was on the DL, missed 20 days with a left rib cage inflammation. A couple of rehab games with Iowa before coming back, and chases that cutter 1-2.
That's a very good cut fastball right there from Buchholz. Late breaking, hard.
Fastball away, not close, 2-2. Five home runs in the first 49 games for Wellington Castillo so far this year. It's after he hit 8 home runs in 113 games last year. On the ground, softly to third. Bogaerts will pick and throw. And there are 2 outs here in the fifth inning. Now, for every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 donation once again this season. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. Well, much better outing tonight for Buchholz. A lot of contact in that last outing in Seattle as he went 7 1/3, went deep into the game, but some hard hit balls tonight. A lot of ground ball outs.
Yeah, it's not a big strikeout game for Buchholz tonight, but the location of pitches has been excellent for him to this point in the game.
He has been behind. First pitch strikes to 5 of 15 batters. But he is retired 12 in a row. And make it 13. Liner to Napoli at first base. That wraps up the top of the 5th. Halfway through the game without a score from Fenway. His friend Clark, who is here, the Chicago Cubs mascot here at Fenway Park, came along with the Cubs, and they're hanging out. A little selfie there in Wally's view.
And if you want to get your video on the broadcast, text keyword Jerry to 536-536 and get the link NESN.com/OnTV to get started. We'll get that video on TV for you.
Stephen Drew leading it off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He walked in the 2nd inning, caught trying to steal as it worked out. Kind of picked off really at first base, but officially goes down as a caught stealing. Edwin Jackson has looked good tonight. He's only given up 2 hits. Single for Brzezinski, single for Pedroia.
Yeah, low scoring series so far here at Fenway Park. Last night, of course, again here tonight.
Drew fouls it off and is down 1-2. Bottom 3rd of the Red Sox order here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Drew, Betts, and Bradley Jr. And so far, Edwin Jackson's looked pretty good. Hey, look at the numbers for both these teams. Both pitch pretty well. Both have trouble scoring runs, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Almost identical when you look at the numbers offensively, defensively, pitching-wise for both ball clubs, almost in the exact same spots.
Up the middle and to the backhand goes Barney. His throw is going to be in time. Nice play. Darwin Barney, the second baseman for the Cubs, throws out Stephen Drew, first out of the 5th inning.
Yeah, very quick release by Barney, the second baseman on this play. Change up that time and kind of a half swing by Drew as Barney to the backhand, falling away from first base as he makes the throw. Able to get the out.
Now one down here in the 5th, and it brings up Mookie Betts. Grounded out to shortstop first time up so far. 1 for 7 in the major leagues. And he'll take strike one. We have some brand new Sox culture coming up, Jerry.
But it's on Mookie Betts.
It is. Let's find out about Mookie. His favorite food is steak. Favorite musician is Ludacris. A Maybach. Tell me about that, Jerry. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. Who's the favorite automobile?
Apparently a really nice Mercedes. Didn't play baseball. He'd be a pro basketball player or a barbershop owner. '70th pitch. And a fly ball to right field. Sherholtz coming in. Something tells me that Gary knows more about one of these topics. Gary?
Yeah, guys, he doesn't want to just own his own barbershop. He wants to hold the shears and have his own chair in said barbershop. Little known fact about Mookie Betts is he likes to cut hair. All the minor league teammates that he's had hit him up for haircuts, and Mookie Betts is more than willing to oblige, hits him up for free, likes to line it up, says it's kind of soothing for him. He, though, got the big league treatment up here. Big Papi and Mike Napoli's hairstylist hooked Mookie Betts up with a haircut, even though Mookie Betts is known for cutting his own hair at home. So naturally, of course, I asked him for that free haircut, and he said, just say when.
Well, good. So he can handle your moss then. That's good. I know you're looking for haircuts from time to time.
Not too much to handle right now. So
Your lettuce.
lettuce or lettuce.
yeah,
Sorry.
we start him off easy with the lettuce. The lettuce is short right now, so wouldn't it be too difficult of a task? Got to break these rookies in, you know what I mean?
You can use a little trim.
Tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
2 down here in the 5th inning. Jackie Bradley Jr. with a count of 1-1. And a fly ball struck well to left. Coghlan going back, and it's going to be over his head off the base of the wall. He'll pick it, and it'll be a double for Bradley Jr. with 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
You know, I watched Jackie Bradley Jr. today in batting practice, and he was hitting a number of balls off that left field wall, kind of working on his opposite field stroke, and that's a nice piece of hitting there. That's a curveball. Instead of trying to pull it, he's able to stay back, keep the hands back, and drive it to the opposite field for the 2-base hit. So with 2 outs, Red Sox get a man in scoring position at second base.
Red Sox have left a total of 3 men on base through the first 4 innings. Now they have Bradley Jr. at second. They've had their chances, but unable to score. They left Napoli at third base in the second. They left Pedroia at second base in the 4th, and now Bradley Jr. is at second base with 2 outs here in the 5th. Brock Holt 0 for 2 tonight, and Wellington Castillo headed out to talk to Edwin Jackson. Hey, Red Sox Nation, get a free medium beverage when you enroll in the Dunkin' Donuts Rewards program, DD Perks. Then just pay with your registered DD card on the DD mobile app to earn points towards more free beverages. It's Dunkin' Donuts' way of rewarding their loyal fans. Enroll today at ddperks.com. The Red Sox run on Dunkin'. 2 down, Jackie Bradley Jr. at second base, and Brock Holt. Lions went into left field, a base hit. Jackie Bradley Jr. will be stopped at third as Coghlan gets it back in quickly. And a base hit for Brock Holt.
Now that's what makes it so tough here at Fenway Park to score on a base hit. You know, that you can play shallow out there, and that's what Coghlan was doing. A hard line drive by Holt, but he's able to charge the ball, and he actually has the ball in his glove before Bradley Jr. reaches third base. Butterfield had no option but to hold him at third base right there. Most ballparks, you're playing a little bit deeper in left field, you got a chance to score on that.
First and third, 2 down. Red Sox putting together 2 hits in a row here in the 5th inning, and it brings up Dustin Pedroia as one of now the 4 Red Sox hits on the night. He was an infield hit in the 4th inning. Pedroia off the glove into left field, off the bat of Castro. In from third comes Bradley Jr. and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. Castro is trying to tie in the lead. May have got the top of his glove as it made its way into left field, and Pedroia drives in the game's first run.
Yeah, Red Sox over the last couple of innings starting to hit the ball pretty hard off Jackson. Another breaking ball that time, and the line shot right off the top of the glove of Castro, the shortstop. That would have been frustrating had he made that catch after the one that Ruggioni made last inning.
Pedroia's had a tough time with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. At base hit, he's now 4 for his last 35 in that category. But he scores Bradley Jr. Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. It's first and second now with 2 down. And David Ortiz, the batter. Back into the shift go the Cubs on the right side. .345 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He's driven in 16. And Castillo's going back out again.
And Jackson having a tough time seeing the signs from Castillo.
Well, tonight's twisted but true fact of the game. Boston has played an AL high 31 one-run games this year, going 14 and 17 in those games. In the majors, only Pittsburgh has played more one-run games, 34. The Sox 17 one-run losses are the most among American League teams and rank second in the majors to the Mets, 19. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Here's the refreshing Hard Iced Tea. Tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. 2 down, 2 on, a run in for the Red Sox here in the 5th inning. And Ortiz will take it down and in. Beautiful summer night from Fenway Park here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And finally the Red Sox have registered a run. Low for ball 2. Mike Napoli waiting on deck. 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Ortiz will take ball 3. Close pitch, 3-0.
Yeah, no fastball that time for Ortiz. He gets the changeup, but I guarantee he's got the green light here on the 3-0 count.
And he takes right at the bottom of the strike zone for strike 1.
I take back the guarantee. He had no intentions of swinging at all.
I mean, bet your house on it or anything.
I would have. I would have. The bat never left his shoulder.
80th pitch of the night for Jackson. And Ortiz grounds it foul. Full count. Happy youngster down the right field line with a souvenir. 3rd full count of the night for Edwin Jackson. Runners will get a start for the Red Sox. Holt at second, Pedroia at first. Cubs have action in the pen. The left-hander and former Houston Astro Wesley Wright warming in the pen. Again, Jackson backing off. Takes a look out at second base at Brock Holt, and then back in again for the signs. Payoff pitch to Big Papi. And Ortiz will take ball 4, and this will load the bases. Fourth walk given up by Jackson. And Renteria yelling from the dugout, asking Jordan Baker where that pitch was. I'm going to send Chris Bosio out there, the pitching coach, to talk to Jackson, with Mike Napoli coming up. Well, if you were following NESN on Twitter, you would have known that Sox GM Ben Cherington was on the pregame show tonight with TC, Wake, and Steve. Follow NESN at twitter.com/NESN. Chris Bosio out there to talk to Edwin Jackson. Bases loaded situation. It's all come with 2 outs. He was able to get Stephen Drew to ground out Betts to fly out, but then the double by Jackie Bradley Jr. got it all started. And a single for Holt, single for Pedroia to drive in Bradley, and then a walk to David Ortiz. So bases loaded, 2 down, and Mike Napoli coming up. Napoli walked in the second, struck out swinging in the 4th inning. Chance here to give the Red Sox some breathing room. On top, 1-0. Finally getting to Edwin Jackson here in the 5th inning. Napoli tried to hold up, but goes around.
Last time up, he really challenged Napoli with fastballs early in the count and got him on a changeup to strike him out. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that time.
Called a ball right at the bottom of the zone, it appeared. Again, 96. Napoli with good numbers in his career in this spot, including 6 grand slams. He's 1 for 5 this season in the bases loaded category. Napoli fouls it off to the right, and he's now down 1-2. Another fastball. It's all he's seen so far.
Going to be thinking in the back of his mind, last time he got me with a changeup with 2 strikes. What's he going to do this time? Napoli going to that 2-strike mode that he's been going in all season long.
Up the middle, and ranging is Castro. He'll flip backhanded for the out at second base. What a play by Starlin Castro. Well, the Red Sox get 1 run, could have had more, lead it 1-0 at the end of 5. Time for the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag NESSONFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in our broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Tonight's fan photo is from Karen P., whose picture is of Amia at her first Red Sox game.
Now, what a play by Castro to end last inning in the center field area, going to the sidearm flip to second base to get control of that ball, just to get it anywhere near the bag. Very impressive right there by Castro. Gets the Cubs out of a bad situation, bases loaded.
Now Justin Ruggiano leading it off here for the Cubs, and Edwin Jackson really minimizing the damage in that fifth inning as it turned out. Took some help though from Starlin Castro to get it done. And earlier Justin Ruggiano with a nice catch to rob Xander Bogaerts of a chance to drive in at least a run in the fourth inning. Ruggiano quickly down 0-2.
One more look at that catch by Ruggiano out there in center field. That ball very well hit by Xander Bogaerts. Well-timed leap. Very nice catch going back to the warning track. That's a tough play too, because that ball was almost directly over his head, which is a very difficult play for the center fielder to read.
And Buchholz has retired 13 Cubs in a row. Working here in the sixth inning now with a 1-0 advantage. Too far outside, 1-2. Was on the DL in April, the left hamstring pull. As he fouls it back to Ruggiano, still 1-2.
There's one that Buchholz was very lucky to get away with, a hanging breaking ball that time, hanging curveball that fortunately for him was fouled straight back. That ball just rolled up the home plate.
Another one up, and it's 2-2. Nine ground ball outs for Clay Buchholz so far tonight, working here into the sixth inning. And a fly ball to right. Betts was playing shallow. This one's going to be up over his head and back to the wall as Ruggiano heads for second base. Got himself a leadoff double to open up the sixth inning.
Now Mookie Betts had no chance right from contact on that. You could see that he had trouble reading that ball off the bat. Turned to his right and the ball was quickly over his head. Good solid contact by Ruggiano. You can see Betts right there turning to his right, and the ball quickly making it over his head. Ruggiano, I should say, not Ruggione. I keep saying Ruggione. I've done that twice tonight.
I thought you were getting him confused with Mike Ruggione.
I know.
Double for Justin Ruggiano, who's at second base. Darwin Barney grounded out short first time up. In there for strike one.
Red Sox expecting the bunt. They got Napoli in close at first base. Bogaerts about even with the bag right now at third. In a couple of steps.
Fouled off to the right, and it's 0-2. Fastball again from Buchholz. Well, Ace Ticket, the official Red Sox ticket partner, has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway. All the 200% guarantee. Right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games. Treat yourself or someone special. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Ruggiano at second base, leadoff double to begin the sixth inning. Darwin Barney down in the count, 0-2. Line to center. Over is Bradley Jr., but it's going to drop in front of him for a base hit. Ruggiano had to make sure, so he just gets to third now. But back-to-back hits here for the Cubs to begin things in the 6th inning, and it's 1st and 3rd with nobody out.
Well, they elect not to bunt, and it pays off. A line drive by Barney that's going to drop in front of Bradley Jr. in center field. So instead of having a man at third base with 1 out, nobody out in a 1st and 3rd situation. Bradley had to really kind of pull up to make sure that ball did not get by him. He does bobble it a little bit right there, but that didn't make any difference at all.
1st and 3rd and nobody out. Chris Coghlan top of the order now for the Cubs. Jumping on that first pitch, fouls it off. Next pitch for Buchholz would be the 80th of his outing. And that first outing back against Seattle, in which he went 7 1/3, went through 76 pitches. So far, there has been no action behind him in the Red Sox pen. He'd retired the last 13 batters in a row before the double by Ruggiano to begin the inning. The 1 pitch is a 1 hopper off the glove of Pedroia, but it goes to second for 1. The throw to first is late, and a run comes in for the Cubs. Ruggiano will score, and the game tied 1-1. The deflection off the glove of Pedroia actually worked out as it got to Drew at second base for the out of Barney, but in the backdoor comes Ruggiano to tie the game.
Yeah, it really did, because that ball bounces any other place. You're talking about 1st and 2nd and nobody out. And they are fortunate right there to get the out. They're going to question the call right now. They're looking in the dugout. They're going to see if there was contact with the bag. There was contact with the bag, so there will be no replay. Ball hit off the heel of Pedroia's glove right there. That was not intentional on his part. And he's just trying to knock the ball down.
So game tied 1-1. Coghlan at first base. 1 out in the inning. Ryan Sweeney gets his 3rd at bat of the night. And it's down and in, having him dance out of the way. Sweeney had the misfortune of grounding into a 6-4-3 double play in the 1st inning. Struck out swinging in the 4th inning. Throw to first, almost threw it away. Napoli had to reach around to grab that. Line towards the gap in right center field. It's going to get down for a hit. Cut off quickly by Bradley Jr. His throw will go to second as to third base goes Coghlan on the single by Ryan Sweeney. And it's 1st and 3rd again with 1 out in the inning.
Yeah, that's the 1st inning in the game here in the 6th that they've had good solid success against Buchholz. I believe this was a fastball from Buchholz down in the zone, and Sweeney just goes right down with it and lines it to center field for the base hit. Bradley Jr. going to his left, no problem for Coghlan to go to third base.
1st and 3rd, 1 down, a run in for the Cubs. Here's Anthony Rizzo as you get into the heart of the order now for the Cubs. Rizzo tonight hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, grounded out to short in the 4th inning. And his 3rd plate appearance of the night against Clay Buchholz. He'll take ball one. There is Coughlin at third. Sweeney across the diamond at first. Two and 0. Pitching line for Clay Buchholz brought to you by Ace Ticket. 5 1/3, 4 hits, a run. Hasn't walked anybody and struck out 2. Running into some trouble here in the 6th inning. Sharply hit. Napoli will turn it into 2. A line drive, and he tags the bag. And that'll end the 6th inning. The Cubs get a run and tie it up 1-1. What-A-Bargain Furniture Superstore is now open to the public. For years, businesses have been taking advantage of WB Mason's overstock. Now you can too. For a sneak peek at inventory, visit whatabargain.com. Well, Mike Napoli with a nice pick at first base turns it into 2.
Yeah, you see him bouncing off the bag as he was holding the runner on. The line drive right at him, and very easy play to go over and touch first base, get the Red Sox out of a jam, out of the inning, and keep it a 1-1 ball game.
A.J. Pierzynski, Xander Bogaerts, and Stephen Drew to bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the game now tied 1-1. And Pierzynski has been on twice, singled, tried to stretch it into a double, was thrown out in the 2nd inning, and then was walked intentionally in the 4th inning. Edwin Jackson running into trouble after he got 2 quick outs in the 5th inning. And with the double to Jackie Bradley Jr., single to Brock Holt, RBI single for Dustin Pedroia. They walked David Ortiz. Bases were loaded, but Napoli grounded into the fielder's choice, and a nice play by Starlin Castro up the middle to get out of the inning. Going the 1 run now. Pierzynski has his 2nd hit of the night. Do you have an Instagram but you're not following NESN? You are missing all of our selfies from In the Booth. Follow NESN on Instagram now and let all things selfies, Red Sox, Bruins, and NESN come to you. A.J. Pierzynski on to begin things here in the 6th inning. Now Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts struck out in the 2nd inning, lined out to center in the 4th. Wesley Wright, who is up last inning, is back up again. Well, Drew on deck. This could be his last batter. We'll see. Xander Bogaerts will take a pitch for a strike over the outside corner, 1-1.
90 pitches right now for Jackson in this game. And a very tough 5th inning, as you mentioned, Don, even though Red Sox only got the 1 run. See 3 people getting the sign right there. It's actually 4 that are involved, the manager or the bench coach giving the signs to Butterfield.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
Staying with that slider too against Bogaerts. He's had success tonight keeping that breaking ball away from Xander.
It's not been a big strikeout night for Edwin Jackson. 2 strikeouts through 5+ innings. In the dirt outside, full count. More action in the pen now as Wesley Wright has been joined by Neil Ramirez. Swing and a miss, and Bogaerts strikes out. That's the 3rd K of the night for Jackson. Bogaerts 0 for 3 in the game. It's time for a Toyota game break, and Tom Caron, TC. All right, Tom, thanks very much. Orioles taking it to the Rangers tonight, and Nelson Cruz getting it done again, as he has had a terrific first half of the season with his new team, the Baltimore Orioles. Drew will foul it off. I want to remind you to tune in tonight after the game to NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Adam and Sarah will have day 1 recap of NHL free agency, including Jerome Iginla signing with Colorado, and USA Belgium highlights. See what know-how can do. Another foul off to the left, and it's 0-2. Drew walked in the 2nd inning, grounded out to second base in the 5th. Anthony Rizzo holding on A.J. Pierzynski at first base here in the 6th inning. Edwin Jackson at 96 pitches. The last 2 innings have been taxing innings for him. Season high 115 pitches. That'll bounce in and off the shoulder of Castillo, able to block it. No advance at first for Pierzynski.
A nice play there by Wellington Castillo as the ball slider looked like just bouncing out in front of the plate and right off that left shoulder.
Drew to center field. Ruggiano out there. Makes the catch for the second out of the 6th inning. So 2 down. Pierzynski still at first, and Mookie Betts coming up here. Betts so far 1 for 8 with the Red Sox grounded out to shortstop in the 3rd inning, flied out to right in the 5th. Last night started in center field here at Fenway Park, and tonight the right fielder with Jackie Bradley Jr. back in center. And Betts will take strike 1. Andrew Miller up in the Red Sox pen. Buck Holtzko in the first 6 innings, thrown 85 pitches through the first 6 and relinquished his first run of the night in the 6th. That'll bounce in, picked on the backhand by Castillo.
Well, that's a couple of very nice plays by Castillo in this inning to keep Pierzynski out of scoring position. This time going to a backhand like a first baseman picking one out of the dirt.
A little bit low for ball 2, 2-1. Still throwing hard out there, 95 miles an hour. Even up over 100 pitches now for Edwin Jackson. Low and away, 3-1. Jackie Bradley Jr. on deck. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 6th 3-ball count for Edwin Jackson. In the air to shallow left center field. From left comes Coghlan, and he'll make the catch that ends the 6th inning. We head for the 7th. The Cubs and Red Sox tied up 1-1. This is from Jessica C. in Werribee, Australia. It's 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, but it's never too early to do the Wally wave.
That's a great one.
I want to see your video. Submitted to On TV at 536-536.
11 o'clock tomorrow morning in Australia.
Mm-hmm. Doing the Wally wave. Now Clay Buchholz back on the mound here for the 7th inning. And Starlin Castro has already made his presence felt defensively with a very good play up the middle. Cubs shortstop 0 for 2 at the plate. He struck out and grounded out to second base. On the ground, foul, evens the count at 1-1. Well, the Cardiovascular Institute at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center invites you to join the club. The Walking Club gives free tools and tips to get you and your family walking towards better health. More at vidmc.org/walking. Andrew Miller ready in the pen. Castro leading it off here. You have the left hand hitting Valbuena waiting on deck. Two-one pitch. And a grounder through the left side into left field, a base hit. Starlin Castro is on to begin things here in the 7th inning. Well, it's time for the list tonight. The all-time Cubs list. Ernie Banks, Ryan Sandberg, Ron Santo, Billy Williams. If you have a comment about tonight's list, tweet us at #NESSONList.
Hey, you'd have to go with Mr. Cub, wouldn't you?
Ernie Banks.
Ernie Banks. Great day to play, too.
Lead runner on here for the Cubs in the top half of the 7th. Luis Valbuena 0 for 2. He is grounded out to short, grounded out to second base. And he takes ball 1. Throw to first, and back is Castro to the bag.
Castro does not run a lot. 2 steals on the season in 3 attempts. As a unit, the Cubs don't run very much.
Swing and a miss. A breaking ball there, and it's 1-1.
You mentioned on last time out that Buchholz pitch did not have a good curveball. It's been pretty good tonight. Good breaking ball right here. Keeps it down in the zone. And a few that he left up in the zone earlier in the ball game, but a good one right there.
91 pitches tonight. And season high 110 as Andrew Miller is now joined by Burke Badenhoff. Lead runner on for the Cubs and Starlin Castro at first base. Valbuena waiting on a 1-1 pitch. Man, he'll take it up and away for ball 2. Rays have a 2-1 lead over the Yankees tonight. 7th inning from Yankee Stadium. Wellington Castillo waiting on deck. Runner goes, and a ground ball right side to Pedroia. His only play is at first. They started the runner, and that helps out as Castro gets to second base with one down. Well, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU Digital Federal Credit Union, tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. TC Wake and Steve Lyons will break down Brandon Workman's last start as he gets ready to take the mound against the Cubs. DCU Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? One out, a runner at second base for Chicago, and Wellington Castillo the batter. 0 for 2 nights so far for the Cubs catcher. He's done the same thing twice. That's ground out to third baseman Xander Bogaerts. Both times up to the task. There's strike one. That's credit for the corner that time.
And a little shake of the head by Castillo. He didn't think it was a strike. He thought it might have been outside.
Fouled off to the right, and it's 0-2 now to Castillo. Cubs are 10 games under 500 on the road this season at 16-26 coming into tonight's second game of this 3-game series from Fenway. And in interleague play so far, they're 3-6 on the year. While the Red Sox are 6-4 against the National League. Buchholz with an 0-2 pitch. And it's fouled straight back. Well, these aerial views of Boston and Fenway Park are brought to you by Hood, the official dairy of the Boston Red Sox. To follow the Hood Blimp and enter to win prizes this summer, visit the Hood Facebook page or follow @Hood Blimp on Twitter. Runner at second base, one down here in the 7th inning. 0-2 to Castillo. Bounce in, blocked by Przinsky. No advance at second base for Castro.
Well, Przinsky making a nice play. Castillo certainly has made a couple in this game, and now Przinsky takes it off that right arm, chest protector area.
Didn't miss by a lot, and he wanted it.
Yeah, that was the two-seam fastball there from Buchholz that he's trying to run back in the hands of Castillo and just missed. If it did miss. Castillo swings at that. That's one that breaks his bat. He jams him on that.
This will get away from Przinsky. Heading for third base is Castro. He will get there as Przinsky runs it down, but now Castro 90 feet away with one down in the inning.
I wonder if Przinsky was crossed up there because the way he went about trying to catch that, it was a cut fastball, and you could see that Przinsky was really not even close to it, going to the backhand and now have a conversation with Buchholz. Almost like he was expecting something inside, and he got the cutter from Buchholz.
They charge Pierzynski with a pass ball on the play, and now 90 feet away is Castro with one out here in the 7th inning.
And the Red Sox pull the infield in, of course, with the one out. Tie ball game late in the game.
Full count now to Castillo. Look out, and Castillo gets hit down to first base. And here comes John Farrell as the runners are at first and third now for the Cubs. Is at Badenhop as well as Miller warming in the pen, and we'll have a change here with one out in the top half of the 7th inning. And it is first and third for the Cubs. That is the night for Clay Buchholz. The pitching change from Fenway. Mason's wide selection of Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup packs will keep you running and guarantees to satisfy any fan base. Ordered by 11:30 a.m. Get free same-day delivery. Who but WB Mason? A game tied 1-1 here at Fenway Park. That's the night for Clay Buchholz. He departs responsible for the runners on. As this call to the bullpen is brought to you by your local New England Ford dealers. Andrew Miller into the game, his 39th appearance, 2-5 with a 2.53 earned run average, 53 strikeouts to 10 walks, and opponents hitting at 179 against him. Pinch hitter Junior Lake with a swing and a miss for strike one. He bats for Nate Scherholz.
Lake had a very difficult night here last night in the opener of this series. I believe he had 4 strikeouts in the game.
Scherholz had been 0 for 2, flying out to the warning track and right and lining out sharply to first base. Strike over the outside corner, and Miller's ahead 0-2.
That's pretty nasty right there from Miller. That fastball down and away to the right-handed hitter.
And a swing and a miss, quickly disposing of Junior Lake. 2 down in the 7th inning.
Yeah, that last fastball at 96 miles an hour. He elevates against Lake to pick up the strikeout. A huge strikeout with the man at first and third. No contact in that situation. 2 outs now in the inning.
First and third with 2 down, and Justin Ruggiano has fly to right and double. Ruggiano fly to right, and after that double in the 6th inning scored the Cubs' only run of the night. Threatening again, and a swing and a miss, evens the count at 1-1. Clark and Wally hanging out. A swing and a miss. 1-2 now. Ruggiano going after the breaking ball.
Yeah, the slider mixed in by Andrew Miller. Up there looking for 95, 96 mile an hour fastball. You get that slider dropped on you.
Up and away for ball 2. First and third for the Cubs. 2 down here in the top half of the 7th inning. Fouled off to the right. We'll do it again. 2-2. Have a son or daughter you want to learn more about baseball or their favorite Red Sox players? Now you can with the all-new NESSONClubhouse.com. Has videos, games, and a whole lot more. It's fun, free, and easy to use. It's NESSONClubhouse.com. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down here to Justin Ruggiano. And a swing and a miss. Andrew Miller strikes him out. Back-to-back Ks for Miller. He gets the job done. 7th inning stretch. Dustin Pedroia will be coming up. On NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The game tied 1-1 as we head to the last half of the 7th inning. And the Cubs turning in some pretty good defense here tonight, Jerry.
Yeah, they certainly have. Actually, both clubs have done so. The line drive over here to Scherholz, and then the play by Ruggiano over his head off Bogaerts, and the flip to second base by Castro. It has been a good defensive night. Good pitching in this game. Good defense. And it's high ball game.
Justin Ruggiano moves from center field to right field, with Nate Scherholz being hit for by Junior Lake, who stays in the game and in center field. New pitcher is Wesley Wright into the game after Edwin Jackson went the first 6. 30th appearance of the year for Wright, 0-1 with a 2.42 earned run average, 17 strikeouts to 6 walks. First deals with Jackie Bradley Jr. to begin the inning, and there's strike one. Well, Bradley has grounded to short and doubled. He scored the Red Sox only run. The bullpens are busy. Neil Ramirez still up for the Cubs in their pen. And now Shinichi Tozawa up for Boston in this tie game into the bottom of the 7th inning. A strike call over the outside corner. Kind of a delayed call there for Jordan Baker, home plate umpire, but Jackie Bradley Jr. is rung up.
Well, it seems like when they get ahead of Bradley Jr., they just try to wear out that outside corner against him, especially left-handed pitches. Ball a little bit off the outside edge, where 2 strikes is one you kind of got to swing at because it's too close to take.
One down here in the 7th inning. Brock Holt, the batter. He's grounded out to second, lined out to right, and singled to left. He's got one of the 6 Boston hits on the night. And he'll take strike one. Swinging a foul tip, 0-2. Alltown, New England's premier convenience retailer, is committed to supporting the communities they serve. For every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to the Cystic Fibrosis Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. Visit www.cfmsfund.org for more info. 0-2 pitch to Brock Holt. Outside, 1-2.
And tries the same pitch he did to Jackie Bradley Jr., except that one a little bit more outside. Looks like he's going to go out there again with the fastball.
And it's chopped off the plate towards second base. Barney has got to hurry, and he gets it there. He threw a seed to first base.
He's made a couple of nice plays in this game tonight also for the Chicago Cubs. One backhanded play going towards second base, and now really had to quicken up his throw to go to first base to get Holt directly over the top with this throw.
Now Rick Renteria headed back out there, the Cubs manager, with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. And with Dustin Pedroia coming up, looks like Neil Ramirez will make his way into the game. That's tonight for Wesley Wright. Game tied 1-1. Pitching change from Fenway. For the Cubs tomorrow, 16 starts, 7-6 on the year with a 4.52 earned run average. Brandon Workman, 6 starts, 1-1 with a 3.27. This closer look brought to you by FW Web. For an even closer look, visit FWWeb.com. The game tied here 1-1, 2 outs in the last half of the 7th inning. And with Dustin Pedroia coming up, new pitcher, third of the night for the Cubs, Neil Ramirez, into his 25th game of the year. 1-1 with a 1.27 earned run average, 30 strikeouts to 8 walks. And opponent sitting at 125 against Ramirez. Dustin Pedroia, a 2-hit night. Singles in the 4th and 5th innings. He's driven in the Red Sox only run of the night. Pedroia joining A.J. Pierzynski, who also has 2 hits in the game. In there for a strike, 1-1. David Ortiz waiting on deck. There are 2 outs here in the 7th. 2-1.
Very impressive with the strikeout numbers for Ramirez.
30 and 21 in a 3rd innings. Fouled off to the right by Pedroia. Count evens at 2-2. Well, stay tuned tonight following WB Mason Extra Innings Live for Red Sox Final presented by Esurance. Send your questions to TC at hashtag Sox Final. Maybe yours will be answered on Red Sox Final presented by Esurance. Two is up high for ball 3. Wesley Wright went 2/3 of an inning, retired both batters he faced, and struck out Jackie Bradley Jr. Foul back and out of play. Mayor Walsh here at the ballpark tonight. Three-two pitch to Pedroia. Back up the middle and into center field. A base hit for Pedroia.
Now 3 for 4 night now for Pedroia. 3 hits in a row. And the second hit in the 5th inning to drive in a run. So at 2 outs, he keeps the inning alive with the base hit right by Ramirez.
So 2 down. Red Sox have a base runner for David Ortiz. Nobody else warming in the pen right now for the Cubs. It may be soon, as Renteria went over to talk to Bosio. David tonight 0 for 2 with a walk. Outside for ball 1. Ortiz flying out to left in the 1st inning, grounded back to the mound in the 4th for that walk in the 5th inning. in the dirt, and Castillo able to knock it down. No advance for Pedroia at first base.
Castillo's had a very busy night behind home plate. Tonight had a very good night behind home plate. Those are big plays right there to keep a man out of scoring position. Advancing to second base.
Outside, 3-0. Be very careful with David. Everything's away.
Well, I'm going to say the same thing as the last time. He's got the green light. Now, whether he wants it or not, that's a different story.
But you guarantee he has it.
Well, I guarantee he had it last time, and I guarantee he's got it again this time. But that's totally up to David.
I'm thinking he's going to take that for ball 4, and down to first base he goes. There's a few steps out of the box on the way in.
Yeah, he knows that they didn't want to pitch to him. T starts down at first base before this even gets into the glove.
See you later.
Yeah, you don't want to throw to me. You're not going to throw me a strike, so I might as well make my way down to first.
Bosio headed back out there again. Liverpool Football Club returns to Boston to face AS Roma on Wednesday, July 23rd for football at Fenway. Match will feature two of the most prominent clubs in European football. Tickets are on sale now. Go to redsox.com/football at Fenway to get your tickets today. So Bosio, the pitching coach, out there to talk to Ramirez. Red Sox have the go-ahead run in scoring position here in the bottom of the 7th inning. A 1-1 game, and Mike Napoli coming up. Andrew Miller did a nice job. Faced two batters in the 7th and struck them both out.
Yeah, great job with men at first and third, striking out two guys.
Napoli walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. There's strike one, and Napoli didn't like it as he spins out of the box. James Russell, left-hander, up in the pen now for the Cubs.
Two lefties in the bullpen for the Cubs. Russell, and of course we've already seen Wright.
Pedroia at second base, Ortiz at first, 2 down in the Boston 7th inning. The ball, and it's 1-1. Napoli with a swing and a miss and a 95-mile-an-hour fastball by him.
Power up against power this time. 95 against the swing of Napoli, and the 95 wins.
Very close pitch, tough pitch to take, and it's 2-2.
Looked like a pretty good pitch at the bottom of the strike zone.
Pedroia at second, Ortiz at first, 2 down in the inning, and a 2-2 pitch coming to Napoli. Napoli grounds it left side. Valbuena, third baseman, cuts it off and throws out Napoli, and the Red Sox strand a pair. We head for the 8th, still tied 1-1. By Xfinity, Edwin Jackson started the game tonight for the Chicago Cubs. 6 innings, 1 run. On the other side, Clay Buchholz, 6 1/3. He gives up 1 run in his outing tonight. As the RBI for the Red Sox, Pedroia, and Chris Coghlan on the other side for the Cubs in a 1-1 game that heads into the 8th inning. And the Red Sox will use their 3rd pitcher of the night. Junichi Tazawa comes into the game. His 38th appearance, 1-1 with a 2.14 earned run average. 35 strikeouts, 8 walks. Opponent sitting at 230 against Tazawa. Takes over for Andrew Miller, who faced 2 batters, struck them both out. Getting the pinch hitter Junior Lake and Justin Ruggiano to strike out with runners at first and third, and 1 out when he came into the game. Meanwhile, the former Baltimore Oriole and Texas Ranger Pedro Strop up in the pen. Number 9 man for the Cubs, Darwin Barney, to lead it off here for Chicago in the 8th. Barney has grounded to short and singled to center. It's one of the 5 hits tonight for the Cubs. There's strike 1. Tried to hold up, but it is a foul tip into the catcher's mitt. 0-2.
Up high, trying to control ahead of the bat, but could not, and also foul tipped into Pierzynski's glove.
Pierzynski kind of framing it there. Could have been a low strike call, but called a ball. Tazawa threw a scoreless 8th inning. 1 hit allowed on Sunday night in New York. for his 8th hold of the season. Last time he worked. Chopped to third base, and it is a foul ball. The indication by the third base umpire. Chris Conroy, the umpire at third, calling it foul.
Yeah, waiting till that ball gets by the third base bag, then making the call. And the correct call, as you can see clearly there, that the baseball and Bogart's in foul territory. I don't know if Barney thought he had himself a base hit, but he had taken his batting glove off.
It was all set, settling in there at first base.
Settling at first base, but no, you can't do that on foul balls.
Swing and a miss, and Barney strikes out. That's 3 strikeouts in a row for Red Sox pitching.
Very good split-fingered fastball that time from Tazawa to pick up the strikeout. Down and in to the right-hander. Swing on top of it. Almost an impossible pitch for the right-hander to hit.
One down, Chris Coghlan, the batter. He singled back in the first, flied out to center in the third, then reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning and picked up an RBI. Only run that the Cubs have tonight. Game tied 1-1 with 1 out in the 8th. In there for strike 1. Coghlan now. Ryan Sweeney scheduled to bat next. Now for Tazawa, prior to that Sunday night game at New York, it was his first appearance since Saturday the 21st at Oakland. Not pitched in the Seattle series at all, so not a great deal of work lately for Tazawa out of the Red Sox pen. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Good splitter.
Yeah, another good one by Tazawa. Excellent one to Barney to strike him out. Another very good one here to Coghlan.
Foul back, and it's 1-2. Don't miss Red Sox first pitch, presented by Men's Warehouse, proudly introducing Joseph Abboud, TC Week, and Steve Lyons. Welcome Red Sox President Larry Lucchino live on set. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. on NESN. One out in the 8th in a 1-1 game. Coghlan off the end of the bat spins this one down the third baseline. It'll go foul. Bogarts was going to pick it up, but then lets it go. It's a good thing he did.
Yeah, I was going to yell on him from up here. Let it go. You're right, Don. For a second, it looked like he wanted to pick this baseball up, and it had to spin all over it, heading into foul territory. And it finally lets it go, and it does become a foul ball.
So another chance here for Coghlan with 1 out in the 8th. Apparently broke his bat on that last cut. Well, bounce in. AJ blocks it painfully, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, that had to hurt. Bouncing it off the shin guard, off the knee, it looked like a Brzezinski, and it bounced almost all the way back to the mound.
Did he go? No, he did not, says Chris Conroy, third base umpire. Full count.
Trying the splitter again.
And he strike shot Coughlin. Back-to-back Ks for Tazawa. 4 strikeouts in a row for Red Sox pitching.
He really has a good one going here in the 8th inning. Both strikeouts coming on the splitter. The confidence to throw it in the 3-2 count right there and get the swing and miss.
Two down here in the 8th inning. Ryan Sweeney, the batter. He has bounced into a 6-4-3 double play, struck out swinging and singled to center. Former Red Sox outfielder takes a curveball up and away for ball 1. Chopped foul back into the seats, and it's a ball and a strike. Don't miss WB Mason extra innings live after the game. The guys will break down Clay Buchholz's start and have John Farrell as post-game comments. Can't go wrong when you buy right at WB Mason. 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Junichi Tazawa dealing with Ryan Sweeney with the count of 1-1. In the dirt, and it's 2-1. Tazawa allowing 3 earned runs in his last 19 2/3 innings, a 1.37 ERA. It spans 22 games. Sweeney fouls it off and evens the count at 2-2. Anthony Rizzo waiting on deck, conversing with some of the Fenway faithful. Two. He's on the ground right side. Pedroia's got it. Ryan Sweeney's retired. So are the Cubs in the 8th. AJ Brzezinski will lead it off when we come back to Fenway in a tie game.
we're knotted up all at one to update tonight's Scion TC poll question. We asked you, which is the best Chicago mascot? Currently, right now, Tommy Hawk, the Chicago Blackhawks mascot, out in front by 37%. Benny the Bull, my favorite right there, 23%. And Clark the Cub at 28%. Chicago Bears mascot has some work to do. But tonight, alliteration wins with Benny the Bull and Clark the Cub.
All right, thanks very much, Gary. As A.J. Brzezinski leads it off here in the bottom of the 8th inning and grounds one foul. Pedro Strop into the game here now for the Cubs. His 31st appearance, 0-3 with a 3.04 earned run average. 30 strikeouts to 15 walks. Opponents hitting 183 against Pedro Strop. At one point, he was a very important part of the Baltimore Orioles bullpen, leading to Jim Johnson, who is also no longer part of the Orioles bullpen. A one-pitch rifle foul off to the left.
That last fastball, 97 miles an hour, as Koji Uehara loses up for the Red Sox in this tie ball game.
Brzezinski to left, Coghlan going back, and he leaps and is able to make the catch. That looked like it was going to get over his head, but he reaches back to make the grab on a hot shot to left.
Oh, it certainly did. You know, he kind of froze on contact and then was able to go back, and looking at it from up here, it looked like it was going to make its way over his head and short hop the wall, but reaches up, makes the catch, keeps Brzezinski off base.
One down here in the 8th inning. Xander Bogaerts the batter. And a swing and a miss for strike one. He's seen a healthy diet of sliders tonight. There's another.
Certainly has. They haven't made many mistakes with him, have they?
No.
They're keeping it away from Xander.
To first, and Rizzo will take it to the bag himself. 2 down. Two down here in the 8th, and Stephen Drew coming up. Drew walked in the 2nd, grounded out to second base in the 5th, flied out to center in the 6th inning. A total of 4 runs has been scored so far in this 2-game series. 2-0 win last night for the Cubs. The Red Sox have a run tonight. Cubs have a run. And Drew is down 0-1.
That's a little bit ugly right there. 97 with movement on it.
That'll bounce in 1-1. Strove now 29 years old. Last year with the Cubs 2-2 in 37 games. Spent part of the year in Baltimore where he had no success. Started the year 0-3 with a 7.25 earned run average with the O's in 29 starts before going to the Cubs. Broke in with the Texas Rangers in 09. Ground ball to second base. Darwin Barney will throw out Stephen Drew. And the Red Sox are down in order in the 8th. We head to the 9th. Game tied 1-1. to the top half of the ninth inning. Bob's Discount Furniture is going to bat for the Jimmy Fund once again. Bob will donate $1,000 to the Jimmy Fund for every game saved this season. Everybody saves at Bob's. Bob's Discount Furniture, quality, choice, and value. Learn more at mybobs.com. Well, in a non-save situation is Koji Uehara trying to keep this game tied. His 38th appearance, 3-1 with a 1.19 earned run average. In save opportunities, he's 18 out of 19. Great strikeout to walk ratio, 48-5, and opponents hitting at just 169 against Uehara. Something has come out onto the field down the left field line, so they wait for that. Anthony Rizzo leading it off here for the Cubs in the ninth inning. And he'll send one to center field in for a base hit to get it started. Jackie Bradley Jr. plays it on a hop, but a single to begin things in the ninth for Rizzo.
Yeah, Rizzo not waiting around, jumps on that first splitter from Uehara and puts it on a line to center field for the base hit. Well, not even a strike off the strike zone, but we mentioned last night where the hands are for Rizzo. They're just about out over the middle of the plate, so he can reach that ball out there.
Now Starlin Castro, the cleanup hitter for the Cubs. He will take strike one. Castro struck out in the first, grounded out in the fourth inning, singled in the seventh. Last we saw Koji, he used 13 pitches to record his 18th save of the season on Sunday night in New York. And a strike call, 0-2. Cubs have action in their pen. Double-barreled action at that. Hector Rondon, who we saw in last night's game, and Brian Schlitter is up. Castro now, Valbuena next. Two and two. Uehara, first among American League relievers in earned runs, 1.19. 33 of his 37 appearances this year have been scoreless. 89% coming into tonight's game. Was ahead 0-2, but now a full count. Runner goes, and this is lined to left field. Down to the track in the wall and back to play at his Holt as Rizzo is stopped at third base. Into second base with a double goes Starlin Castro, and it's second and third with nobody out for the Cubs.
Well, Castro's had a big night. He's had a good defensive night at shortstop, and he picks up his second hit in his last two at-bats. Led off the seventh inning with a single, now a big double here in the ninth inning to get men at second and third with nobody out. That looked like a high splitter that time from Uehara.
Now the infield will be brought in all the way around. Luis Valbuena, the batter. In the dirt and blocked by Pierzynski for ball one.
Can't get away from the game plan. You got to still use that split-fingered fastball to get out of these jams. And that time, Pierzynski doing a nice job blocking it and leaving the man at third base.
In the dirt, 2-0. Anthony Rizzo with a single to begin the inning. Starlin Castro with a double. And it's second and third. Nobody out for Chicago. He went around. Home plate umpire is going to make the call. Not check. He just made it himself. Valbuena wanted him to check.
Got a good look from the side. And I think he did go around.
Two-one. There's strike two. On the corner that time to even it up.
Nothing down the middle of the plate here. Right to the outside corner for Uehara with the fastball at 89. Gets the strike call.
Infield in all the way around. A 2-2 pitch coming from Uehara. There's ball three. Full count. Wellington Castillo waiting on deck. Very good opportunity here for Chicago in the top of the ninth inning. And it's fouled back. And a fastball there, and he fouled it back. Miller to Zawa, now Uehara out of the Red Sox pen tonight. Valbuena down the right field line on the run is Betts. He will get there to make the catch. Tagging is Rizzo. The throw to the plate is up the line. A run is in. And tagging up and moving to third base is Starlin Castro. The Cubs have taken a 2-1 lead in the top half of the ninth inning. Sac fly for Luis Valbuena.
Uehara's got hurt by a couple of high splitters this inning. It was a high splitter that Castro hit, and that time a high splitter that Valbuena hits, and certainly deep enough to get that run home. See the runner at going down to first base. Let him tag up and score. And that throw way off target by Mookie Betts in right field. Infield will remain in with one out in the inning now.
Wellington Castillo has grounded out twice to third, been hit by a pitch. And he wraps it foul over by the Cubs dugout and into it. They're trying to obtain some insurance now as the Cubs have jumped ahead 2-1. The Red Sox have Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Brock Holt scheduled to bat in the ninth inning. Swing and a miss at the fastball, and it's 0-2. Hector Rondon now alone in the pen and be trying to secure the save tonight for the Cubs. Able to get one last night here at Fenway Park. Popped up right side. The infield was in, so Pedroia's got to go a fair distance, but he's there to make the catch for the second out, and Castro remains at third base. So Castillo popping out, 2 down.
See where Pedroia is right now, playing the infield in, so he's got quite a distance to go. Backpedaling to make the catch on this pop-up. Obviously a normal position, that'd be a very routine play, not so routine with the infield in.
You know, Junior Lake, who struck out pinch hitting in the 7th inning, has his second at bat of the game. Comes with 2 outs and Starlin Castro at third base. There's strike one to Lake. Strike two.
Well, he has really had trouble making contact over the last couple of nights. Just blows the fastball right by him right here.
The 0-2 to Lake. And he strikes out to end the inning, but a sac fly for Luis Valbuena as the Cubs on top 2-1. Betts, Bradley Jr. and Holt coming up. Is brought to you by the new Scion TC. McDonald's, I'm loving it. KM Natural Frank Casing, celebrate something. Sullivan Tire and Auto Repair. Kia Dealers of New England. Orkin Pest Control, down to a science. And by Southwest Airlines. Bottom of the ninth inning back in Boston and at Fenway Park, where the Cubs have just pulled ahead with a run in the top of the ninth. Now it's on to the bottom of the ninth inning. And Mookie Betts leading it off for Boston. And Betts will take strike one. Cubs closer into the game, Hector Rondon. 32nd appearance, 1-2. 10 out of 12 since he's taken over this closer's role. Opponent sitting at 242 against a right-hander. Down the right field line for Betts. It is a foul ball.
Just a little bit late on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that time from Rondon.
The 0-2 pitch is up high. We saw a little bit of that from Rondon at times. He can be wild with that 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Jackie Bradley Jr. on deck. Brock Holt to follow. And a pitch down and away. Didn't chase. 2-2. He's got that slider in his back pocket too. Two-two pitch. Very high again with a fastball. Full count. 3-2 pitch. Betts hits a fly ball to center field, playable for Junior Lake in center for the first out of the bottom of the ninth. Alltown, New England's premier convenience retailer, is committed to supporting the communities they serve. For every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to the Cystic Fibrosis Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. Visit www.cfmsfund.org for more information. One out in the ninth inning. Jackie Bradley Jr., the batter. A double in the fifth inning and scored the only Red Sox run of the night. Spins out of the way of that fastball.
Not much reaction time when it's coming in there at 97 miles an hour, but Bradley Jr. does get away from it.
Fouled off to the left, 1-1. Now the Cubs pulling ahead in the top of the ninth inning. Pedro Strop, pitcher of record right now for the Cubs. Uehara is on the hook right now as the Red Sox bat in the bottom of the ninth. 1-1 pitch. Swinging a foul tip, and it's 1-2.
Ball might have been a little bit high, but chased. That time and foul tip by Bradley.
Strike three call. Bradley Jr. knew it and takes with him the first strikeout for Rondon. 2 down in the ninth.
Well, there's that outside corner again against Jackie Bradley Jr. They struck him out last time on a fastball away. Same thing this time.
Two down in the ninth inning for Brock Holt. Holt with a single back in the fifth and a 1-for-4 night. Red Sox down to their last out. 2 down here in the ninth inning. Holt takes strike one. Dustin Pedroia hoping to get a chance as he waits on deck. There's strike two, and it's 0-2.
First fastball away, second fastball in.
The 0-2 pitch. On the ground to third base. Valbuena on the backhand, stumbles, and reaching at first base will be Holt.
Well, Valbuena, if he makes that play in the backhand, it's going to be a very, very close play at first base. Holt making contact with 2 strikes, trying to keep the inning alive. You see he's playing well off the line. He's going the long way to his right to make that play, and I doubt very much that he throws Holt out at first base.
It is a base hit for Holt, to his second hit of the night. Tying run at first as now Pedroia steps to the plate. 3-hit night already for Dustin. All singles. Strike one. For the first, and Holt back to the bag. Rondon with an 0-1 pitch. Pedroia late on the fastball, and it's 0-2. That was away.
I mean, sometimes he'll miss by a large margin, then he'll throw you a pitch like that on the block on the outside corner.
2 down, last of the ninth. The Red Sox trailed by a run. Pedroia down on the count, 0-2. Ball 1. Pedroia grounds left side, diving Valbuena. His throw is to first, and it is in time. John Farrell's going to come out and argue the call at first by Jerry Mills, the crew chief on the field, is that is the ball game on the final out. But Farrell is out there, and they're going to check this out.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at it. Nice play right there by the third baseman, but we'll see if I'll play at first base. Wow, that's close. That is really close. There's the hop. I mean, it looks like the foot and the baseball get in the glove just about the same time. Pedroia hustling as hard as he can down the line. Is it in the glove first?
Well, that's tough.
Boy, that is really tough.
Well, we've not seen this end a ball game like this in the Red Sox Challenge before.
No, we have not. And this one may take a while. See Rizzo getting himself in a position where he can make the play on the bounce, but Pedroia's foot looked like it got there just about the same time. I mean, it almost looks like an exact tie.
Well, that's a quick check. They are ready, and he is out. Wow. And that is the ball game. That was a quick review. It looked like it was going to take a while to figure that out. It's taken us a while, but did not take New York a while. They stick with the call on the field, and the ball game is over. And for the Red Sox, frustration continues. And tonight, the Red Sox gather 1 run. So that's 1 run in the first 2 games of the series. They hope to take advantage of this Cubs team, but the Cubs have now won the series, taking the first 2. As we send it to Tom Caron.